everybody. We are...
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Not evening, morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Good evening.
Morning.
Some people are listening in
that's
all
true.
different time zones.
That's true.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Dave Miletto. I'm here with my fellow host, Chris Thedick.
What's going on, guys?
And we are Combat Misfits. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. We are going to be covering all the events that happened over the weekend, as well as the upcoming events for all combat sports. We had a hell of a weekend in the field of combat sports, and we're going to go over UFC Vegas 43, as well as the Terrence Crawford versus Shawn Porter fight, which was a very, very entertaining fight. So, I'd like to introduce my producer, Taylor. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are we doing, guys?
We are doing well. We are pumped as usual. And let's get right into the news, you know?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So, we had UFC Vegas 43. It was an early card for,
As it should have been.
As it should have been. Who wants to go up against the Shawn Porter versus Terrence Crawford card? You'd be crazy. And it ended just in enough time before that fight card kicked off. So we had Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate. Let me ask you this, Chris. Was this the most boring UFC card of all year?
It was one of them. Like, majority, we had like one finish that whole night.
Yes.
It was boring. Like, I understand everyone wants to say, yeah, it was a technical fight and everything, but man, was it boring last night. It was a long, long card. Because if everything's going to decisions, it's going to be a longer card.
And I'm very thankful for that boxing fight, because otherwise we wouldn't have much to talk about today, you know? So 11 of the fights, 10 of them were decisions.
Right.
Like you said, only one submission in that whole card. It was brutal, you know? Thank God that, we did have boxing after that to look forward to kind of bring us back to reality of the combat sports world and how vicious this sport can be. So we had Ketlen Vieira versus Miesha Tate.
Yep.
And, it wasn't that interesting of a fight. And
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, it was interesting, but, to make a statement in the bantamweight division like you have to, like I said, against somebody like the GOAT, you need a knockout. You need a finish.
Well, Miesha Tate is pretty brutal in herself. Like, she doesn't get finished often. She goes all in. So I like that fight. I thought the fight was good. It just showed that Miesha Tate is just getting outworked by a lot of the younger cats.
See, this is the crazy part, because it's like, okay, Miesha Tate came back from retirement, right? And she looked good against Marion Reneau,
As she should have.
As she should have. I mean, Marion Reneau was 41 years old or something like that, and then retired right after the fight. So I don't really know if that was like a statement win to come back from a retirement. So she goes in against Ketlen Vieira, and Ketlen Vieira just showed her, those Brazilians don't freaking play, man. And,
I agree.
And it seems like, I kind of saw this going into the fight. Miesha Tate struggles with those Brazilians, and she has done it against Amanda Nunes, and it just didn't work in her favor last night. The young gun, as they say, Ketlen Vieira, 30 years old, came away with the victory. It was a decision. Miesha Tate did hold her own, I will say.
You think? I think she got worked.
See,
I think she was just there taking an ass whooping.
The thing is she switched up, right? So those leg kicks, that she was doing in Ketlen Vieira, she would have kept doing that, and she would have kept kicking her leg and possibly putting damage to her leg and her lead leg at that. It could have possibly thrown Ketlen for a loop, possibly, because the thing is like, I feel like she started kicking the legs, and then she was trying to like gauge the distance and come in with a game plan, and then she did away with that game plan. It wasn't necessarily
because the reason why she got away from it is because every time she threw a leg kick, she would get pieced up. She don't want to keep getting pieced up like that. She was getting a 3-4 hit comboed on herself every time she threw a leg kick. Yeah, was it working? Of course it was. But Tate was taking a beating every time she threw it. That's why she evaded that game plan. And I agree, Zep. Tate is old.
You think she's finished, Zep? You think she should retire? I mean, look, this is only her second fight since she came back from retirement.
What is she going to do?
Be a gatekeeper?
I
don't want her to be a gatekeeper.
Right.
No, I do not.
So the thing is, if she's going to be a gatekeeper now, she's going to be fighting these middle-class fighters and probably get beat up if they're good. When you're a gatekeeper, you're going to go against raw talent or you're going to go against people who don't belong in there. So if the people don't belong there, yeah, you're going to put them out. But people who belong there, you're going to get worked. Do you want to keep getting worked? No, gatekeeper sucks. Like, if people say, he's a gatekeeper. Yeah, but you might be fighting raw talent every time someone comes in. So you're going to get worked every time you come in.
You don't think that she has a shot of coming back and potentially being a title contender?
Stop it. No. Tate will never sniff the title again. She won't. Look what just happened. She got worked last night.
So where does that drop her in the rankings, you know? Because I guess she's number 8. So does she go?
No, she'll probably stay the same. She'll probably stay 8 or she'll go back 1 by 9. She ain't going to drop drastically. Let's not be silly. She has a name.
She has a name.
So she ain't going to drop drastically.
So looking at the stats right here, right? So Ketlin Vieira it was close on these statistics. I mean, 49% of the total strikes Ketlin Vieira landed. 48% of the total strikes Miesha Tate landed. Mm-hmm. Miesha Tate attempted 6 takedowns, only 1 successful.
That's not good.
It's not good. No, I mean she was trying to bring the wrestling game into it after she figured out her game plan wasn't working. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's 35 years old. You know, it's tough to see, you know, for as beautiful as a woman as Miesha Tate is, and I might get in trouble for it, you know, as beautiful as she is, it's tough to see her, you know, lose like this. You know, I thought maybe she was going to have a run, you know. Yeah. I did say that on Wednesday that she was possibly, you said she was in it just for fighting.
That's it.
Look, maybe you're right. I said she was in maybe for a title contention. She was calling out Amanda Nunes, forget that word. She was calling out Amanda Nunes like quietly. You know, she was basically like, I'm coming back for you, in interviews. But
she'll never see Nunes again. She'll never even get the top 5 again. Guarantee. Right. Like Zeb said, drop her out of the top 10. She can't hang in the top anymore.
But then she might as well retire. She might as well retire.
Well, you can't retire if you're a gatekeeper.
Who wants to be a gatekeeper? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But I can see her being a gatekeeper for sure.
So you think she made a mistake leaving ONE FC as the vice president to come back?
No. I think it's your own prerogative to do what you want to do. Like, she wants to be competitive. She wants to fight. Go for it. But you might not fight the top 10 anymore. You're going to fight subpar fighters. Get your name in the mix. Help other people get recognition. And that's what she just did last night.
Who wants to get punched in the face and make a name for other people, yeah?
People just have that in their blood. They just like doing that for others. Like, I made a name for him. Like, like the younger stars. Like, Miesha Tate might do that. Like, no one really heard of her till last night. She fought who? Miesha Tate. Banged her up. And now everyone's talking about her. Oh, she's the next big thing.
I don't think she's the next big thing. But
no, she might not.
She's a prospect.
She's the Clay Guida of the women's division. Oh, that hurts to say that, but I totally agree.
She's the Clay Guida.
It hurts to see that and hear that, but it's true.
That is very true. Yes.
She could be.
That is very related. You know, like, I believe she possibly may be the Clay Guida. You know, she's a gun, she's a dog, you know, but at the same time, she's never going to be in that title talk possibly ever again. I mean,
she will not.
So Ketlin Vieira is number 7. So who do you think, Chris, as well as that, you know, you chiming in, who do you think is next for Ketlin Vieira? Does she step up?
She'll probably fight a top 5, top 3.
See, the division is whack, bro. The division is whack. Like I said on Wednesday, Aspen Ladd, who the freak knows where she stands with her weight issues. And
but she lost her last fight.
Yeah, but that was in featherweight. That was in featherweight.
What?
That's a
A
different
loss
division.
is a loss. Doesn't matter what division you're in. Loss is a loss.
Well, she still holds number 5. So I mean, in the division, even though she has a loss up in featherweight, Yana Kutsukaya is ranked above her by 1. She's number 6. Maybe she fights Yana Kutsukaya next. I mean,
No, you gotta give her a tougher fight than that. 'Cause she fought Misha Tate. Misha Tate, how old's the name? And if you beat a big name, you drop drastically.
so you think she could fight Holly Holm? Because Holly Holm's ranked number 2, or
No.
she could fight another Brazilian, Jermaine Durandame.
Yeah, what is she for?
Jermaine Durandame is number 1. So
No, she wouldn't fight top 2. She'll fight probably 4 or 5. What up, Facebook user?
I hope that's not the person that called you a hooker.
It could be. It could be whoever they want.
Anyway, so where the bantamweight division, I don't know where it stands. We'll find out December 11th when Amanda Nunes defends her belt against Julia Penne. And depending on who wins that fight, which you said it could be an upset.
I think it's going to be an upset. I think Nunes is going to take a L.
Jesus, that would be I mean, if that were the case, then that throws the division for another loop because obviously.
But let's bring this to everyone's attention, right? Is that I don't want to like feel myself in a way, but like, am I really wrong that many times on betting? I'm not. I'm rarely wrong. I'm wrong.
You're gloating, all right?
I know.
No,
As I should. I'm rarely wrong when I make bets on this UFC. I'm rarely wrong.
Well, okay.
Super rare.
Well, I'll bring up UFC 268.
I said I was wrong on that one.
But wait.
How many have I been wrong on? Not many.
You're really going with Julia Penne.
The beat Nunes is an upset.
So if that happens, and that's possible, very possible. So if that happens, then it's obvious, as dominant as Amanda Nunes has been, they're going to run it back.
Well, you don't know. You have no idea if they're going to run it back.
They're going to, unless Amanda Nunes
retires
after that potential loss.
She could. She's like, my head's not in the game anymore. I'm focused on family. I don't want to do this no more.
I mean,
I hope she does.
I think Julia Penne's only shot at potentially winning is with a submission. I do not think she has more power than Amanda Nunes.
No,
I
just
don't
ground and pound her out. You don't need to have submission. Just ground and pound her out. She's weak on her back. She's weak.
Amanda Nunes has some submissions as well.
She is
Do not
weak
sleep on her submission and ground game.
Don't overhype her like she is.
She submitted Holly Holm. I mean, I'm saying,
good for her.
And she
was
choked her.
rocked.
She
was
choked
rocked.
her. What?
She was rocked.
No, wait. I think she actually TKO'd. So I don't really know. I mean,
if Nunes beats you by a submission, she has you rocked. You are almost down and out, and she went for your neck. That's all she's doing. If you're telling me that she is great wrestler, great takedown, all this other shit, you're lying. Because she looked sad against Kat Zingano. She looked sad.
That was 6.
It's sad. Because if you...
How can you say that 6 years ago, though?
You can say whatever...
You can't base that off as...
A loss.
She hasn't lost.
She got worked by Kat Zingano
6 years ago.
When's the last time you saw Nunes on her back?
6 years ago.
Exactly. Test it. Test her. Get close and get her down, Julia Penne, and beat her fucking ass.
How can you base a loss 6 years ago when she's been as dominant as she can?
Because no one has her on her back.
Wait, saying how her ground game has not gotten better? That's bullshit.
When's the last time you saw her on her back? You just said 6 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. So she's gotten better and
better.
No
one's ever tried to take her ass down.
Nobody's going to be able to. Who?
I give you that, because she has the first round.
So you think somebody?
If you can get past her first round, you can beat Nunes, and you just can't get pieced up though. And I understand that's hard to do. You can't just say don't get pieced up. I get that. It's hard to do, but if you can get her, and then you can put her on her back, you are pretty much gonna beat Nunes. That's the recipe. The last time I've seen her on her back was Kat Zingano. She lost. Bad. Real bad.
I mean, she could try. She can try and take Amanda Nunes down.
That's what I'm saying. You got to weather the storm of the fury punches of Nunes, Work her in the clinch. Put knees on her and her belly. Tire her out. Get past the first round, and you should be all right.
Now, like I said before, you know, fighters have a game plan coming in against Amanda Nunes until
They get punched.
Until they get punched. Yeah,
Right.
and it changes the whole game plan. They throw everything out the window and they fight in survival mode. So, who knows what's going to happen? I like that prediction. I really like that prediction that Julia Pena could shock the freaking world. You know,
It wouldn't be a shock.
It would be a shock.
I don't know why that would be a shock to anyone. That's not a shock.
She's considered the GOAT.
To who?
She's considered the GOAT around the world. She's the number 1 pound for pound women's fighter in the world.
I just think she's the most overhyped woman fighter of all time.
No, I'll say that about Ronda. Ronda Rousey was the
Yeah, she
most
was overhyped
overhyped.
too.
I don't think Amanda Nunes is overhyped at all. Overrated.
I just can't agree. I just think Nunes is just being overhyped. I think there's a recipe to beat her, and no one's ever tried it.
She doesn't even have to talk shit. She just goes in there and demolishes these women.
Of course, like Chris Cyborg did.
So she doesn't have to win the mentality game. She already goes in there knowing I'm going to start these women, and she's done it.
Hold on.
She's cleared out the whole division, bro.
Good for her. So the thing is, right, is Chris Cyborg was known as the GOAT. Right? Am I wrong? Chris Cyborg was labeled the GOAT before Nunes.
Yeah.
Correct?
So she starts the GOAT. Chris Cyborg, she's
up there in age. She's not young.
The women's pioneer fighter as Ronda Rousey.
Hold on.
What?
So if Cyborg was young, right, not at her age now, right, when she was up there in age, right, and if she would have fought Nunes and they're both in their primes, who do you think wins? I think Cyborg waxes Nunes, waxes her, totally waxed her. You cannot tell me Nunes is the GOAT. Yeah, she's beaten everyone in her prime and in her division, but she also has losses in the UFC. No one's ever attempted to take her down. Like everyone was trying to box her.
Wait, nobody's ever attempted to, or nobody's been able to take her down since Kat Zingano.
Well, both.
People have attempted it.
Yeah, and they just get rocked.
That's what I'm saying. So you're telling me, so if she fought Amanda Nunes back in the day, or if
I
she
think
fought Chris
Cyborg would beat the brakes off of Nunes. Beat her ass.
You're crazy.
No. Because
your logic is crazy here.
Hell.
Because Chris Cyborg was potentially still in her prime. She was dominant. She was dominant.
She was not in her prime.
They created the featherweight division for her.
Right, because she's not in her prime. She's gaining weight.
Chris Cyborg is still demolishing women right now. Yes, they're no-namers. But she met her match against Amanda Nunes at the right time.
Right, Nunes was peaking. Cyborg was on a downward slope.
She was not.
She was,
She was such a dominant champion.
She was not dominant. She's on her pathway to go down.
So you're telling me that you think Amanda Nunes is overrated? Some of the shit this guy says is just boggles my mind.
It's facts.
Please, for everybody watching out there,
what makes her the GOAT? What makes Nunes the GOAT?
What makes her the pound for pound women that she's fought, the women that
who she fight that was just top notch.
Like
who'd she fight?
Holly Holm,
loser.
These are all
straight loser.
Wait a minute.
She beat Ronda Rousey and got a hype train out the wazoo. Hold on, she got a hype train out the wazoo, and then she can't even go on a win streak. Holly Holm. She's win lose, win lose. Like that's not.
She defeated all the women's champions prior. Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate, Holly Holm.
Trash.
You're calling these women trash
They're
as
not
if they don't
great
have
fighters.
no significant. What?
They're not great. Ronda Rousey was
Misha
not great.
Tate's been in the game since
Hold on.
Strikeforce.
Let's go
all
down the
these
list.
Women,
Let's go down the list. Ronda Rousey was not a good fighter. True? Would you agree?
No, wait.
You don't agree?
No, she was a good fighter. She was a good fighter for that era because then people were coming in with better striking, better grappling skills than her. So she was a good fighter for that era. And then she met her match. You know what I'm saying? She showed her holes. Wait. Let me finish. She showed her holes, and fighters were, watching her do her game, and they were advancing and trying to get better. And then she finally met her match against Misha Tate, or she finally met her match against Ronda Rousey, and then she met her match against Amanda Nunes.
Holly Holm
Holm
showed
knocked
you
her.
the recipe to beat Ronda Rousey is punch, stick, and move. That's all you had to do against Ronda. She couldn't do nothing.
That's
She
what I'm
got
saying.
worked.
But she was still a great fighter for that era until she met her match against somebody that was a phenomenal kickboxer, a phenomenal striker. Ronda Rousey was never any of those things.
No.
She was good at grappling.
Right.
These women thought that they could try and go in there and fix her game where she was not going to submit them, and it never worked. She was always able to go in there, armbar, 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 armbar,
right,
and finish these women.
Right.
So yeah, she was not a one. She was a one-trick pony in a sense.
100%.
However, she was dominant for that era. And then Holly Holm came, and yes, okay, she was a phenomenal kickboxer. She had a great game with kickboxing and striking, and also great boxing skills.
Right.
So she met her match again. Against Misha Tate with a choke, okay? So then we go back to the grappling stage. Misha Tate won that with a grappling session. And then Amanda Nunes comes in.
Tries to box her, loses.
Who?
Misha. She's trying to box Nunes and
That's
lost.
what I'm saying. So then the striking game comes back. So it went grappling, striking, grappling, kickboxing, and then back to grappling, and then striking. Now, Amanda Nunes has been dominant ever since. There's nobody that you can say is more of a GOAT than her in the women's division.
I don't think there's any GOATs in the women's division.
Really?
Zero. I think they're all good fighters in their own retrospect.
She's just, won over the past 8 or 9 years.
No, I'm saying she's a good fighter.
She's a great
fighter. She's a great fighter. To say the greatest of all time holds a heavy weight. It's so much weight to carry for an individual. Yeah, she cleaned out her divisions. Yes, in 2 divisions nonetheless.
Yeah.
Great. But I have yet to see a talent to really press her except for one chick. That's the only thing I can see. No one's ever really put if she went to like a 5-round fight with another good fighter, we'll just say Kayla Harrison.
Valentino Shevchenko.
Trash. So
how are you?
So if we went to Kayla Harrison,
you're so quick to call these women trash.
She's trash.
They're dominant women. They will
she's not
anybody's...
even close to her. She's not close. Oh God, it just frustrates me. It's not even close. Valentino Shevchenko does not belong in the octagon with Amanda Nunes in Monday through Sunday. Doesn't belong in there.
I don't know
and she
where
gets
your logic. I don't know where your logic comes in.
She doesn't stand a chance. She gets worked every fight.
These are top women fighters that you're calling trash.
What division?
These are top women fighters that you're calling trash.
They're not top fighters. They're not good. They're just in there because they started from the ground and worked their way up. Like Misha Tate.
So hold on.
Misha Tate was in Strike
Force.
Force.
Make from any men's fighter that's come from the
Misha
bottom.
Tate was in Strike Force with Ronda Rousey, and she just has a name because she fought Rousey because Rousey was top dog. And then everyone thinks Misha Tate's a good fighter. She's not. She's subpar.
I never said Misha Tate was
Even Holly Holm, she beat Ronda and got a name for it. She's not that good. She's subpar as well.
Do you not realize how great of a boxer Holly Holm was?
That's not a question. She is. She's a great boxer and great kickboxer.
But you're calling
for
these
UFC, she's not that good.
You're calling these women trash as if they haven't made a name for themselves in their rightful way. You're
no
saying,
one's saying that.
You're saying
I'm telling you.
You're saying
no one's saying that. I'm telling you against Nunes, they're not good.
Okay.
And Nunes didn't beat no one top dog either.
All right, we're off this topic. Okay, so we'll see what happens to Amanda Nunes. This guy's crazy. He thinks Amanda Nunes is not the GOAT. For all you guys out there, look, he's a villain over here. He's a villain over here. So for all you guys out there that think, chime in, tell us what you think. Is Amanda Nunes the true GOAT? Or is she just been lucky the past 8 or 9 years or whatever? And we'll get into that topic for another day. We've already spent 25 minutes on that one topic. Now, let's get into the co-main event. Michael Chiesa versus Philly's own Sean Brady, representing Philadelphia. So Sean Brady and Michael Chiesa, it was a good fight. We knew this coming in that Michael Chiesa was not going to be an easy fight for Sean Brady. But Sean Brady basically used his wrestling skills like we knew he was going to. And it's crazy because in his post-fight interview, he was like, I've never wrestled really a day in my life. I have really no background in wrestling.
And what does that tell you about Michael Chiesa then? If he never wrestled a day in his life and he outworked you on the ground, that's sad.
Wait, what?
You just said Sean Brady said in his interview.
Yeah, that
he never wrestled. So that means Mike Chiesa is what? Terrible.
No, Michael Chiesa is a great fighter.
If you got outworked by someone who doesn't know how to wrestle, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because I believe Michael Chiesa was basically having the better of the fight until Sean Brady came in and used his wrestling game just to take him down and wear him out.
Right.
So to say Michael Chiesa is trash is crazy. I mean, the dude.
Well, let's just say, right? You went in the ring, right, with Michael Chiesa and you outworked him on the ground. What do you say? What do you say? You have no experience. What do you say?
Wait, say that again?
If you go in the ring right now, the octagon, and you outwork Michael Chiesa, what do you say?
I'd say Michael Chiesa is trash because I don't have no experience.
That's what Sean Brady just said.
But Sean Brady basically has prepped for this. So he has no wrestling.
He said, I never wrestled a day in my life. A day in my life.
Back in the day. Now he's training at Renzo Gracie. He's learning them skills. He's learning grappling skills. So, yes, I mean, back in the day, he didn't have no wrestling skills, but he's adapted them through his training skills.
Do you know that for a fact?
I know that for a fact.
How?
What?
Did he tell you this? Did you see his camp?
What are you talking about? This is what he said in his post-fight interview.
Right, I know. So you think he's training on it? If he says, I never wrestled a day in my life, I just tried it right now.
Yeah.
So what does that say? Mike Chiesa sucks.
Mike Chiesa does not suck. He's a number 6 ranked opponent for a
He
reason.
can't wrestle.
He's lost against one of the best fighters, Vicente Luque, who's potentially next contender for the title at welterweight. I mean, he was a former Ultimate Fighter. Michael Chiesa is not no joke when it comes to fighting. You know, that says a lot for Sean Brady to be able to dominate.
I'm not saying he sucks as a fighter. I'm saying he sucks on the ground. If you lost to someone who never wrestled a day in his life, you're terrible.
He's terrible on the ground. He was submitted by Vicente.
But that's all Michael Chiesa does. He subs people. That's all he knows how to do. He don't go for knockouts. He goes for subs. And you lost to someone who took your ass to the ground where that's your strong suit, and he beat you on your home court pretty much. When you want to go to the ground, he dominated you on the ground.
Well,
that's nothing to be proud of, Mike Chiesa. You need to up your game a bit.
Well, it says that Michael Chiesa was able to survive. So, I mean, he was able to survive. Sean Brady attempted submissions time and time again during that fight.
Right.
But I mean, it didn't come to fruition. He wasn't able to submit. He wasn't able to finish. He even said in his post-fight interview, sometimes the finish isn't always going to be there, but the win is the most important thing. So, I mean, Michael Chiesa is 33 years old. I don't know where he's going to go from this. Sean Brady, obviously, like I said last night, I said it to you, I said it to a lot of people, it's time to bring an event to Philly. I would say that.
We didn't have one since, I think it was 107.
I think it's been like since 2012.
Yeah,
we haven't had a UFC event. Now's the time. We've got the Dawkins brothers. We've got Sean Brady. We've got Terrence Wells, I think, that fights on December 4th. And we've got, Pat Sabatini, who was also on the card. They're all from Philly. Yeah. They can fill this card and potentially sell out the Wells Fargo Center. I think it's time. Do you think it's time?
I think it's overdue. I don't think it's time. I think it's overdue for a card to come here. But like we were saying off the air, we need a headliner. Sean Brady's not a headliner. He's a co. He's not a headliner. I know what he said in the interview. I want a 5-round fight. I think he might get a 5-round fight, but he's not a headliner. He can't sell a Wells Fargo Center. He can't sell a stadium himself. Even though he has undefeated, he can't sell a stadium.
You don't think he can sell a stadium just based off the fact that the UFC hasn't been in Philadelphia for a long time? UFC fans in Philly are dying for a card to come back here. And he's an undefeated prospect in the welterweight division who just beat a number 6 rank opponent. Something to say about that, because even Khamzat Chimaev hasn't beaten a fighter in the number 10 rankings.
Right. Even if Sean Brady fought Khamzat, like, I don't think it's selling out.
You don't think that?
No.
An undefeated fighter versus an undefeated fighter. You don't think that will sell out?
No, it won't. This is a fighting town. Dana White is not an idiot. Like, oh, I'm going to put Sean Brady against Khamzat in the main event and put all these other Philly guys on the card. Yeah, it's going to sell, but you're going to make money. The stadium will sell. That's no doubt. Stadium. But who's going to buy to watch it?
It wouldn't be a pay-per-view at all.
It would have to be.
It would not be a pay-per-view.
This is a fighting city. This is a fighting city. If you put anything in a fighting city, you want to make money. That's why
it may be hard to come to fruition, because Sean Brady said it himself yesterday. I've never even fought a 5-round fight in the UFC before. I want a main event spot. They're not going to put that pay-per-view status. They never lately they don't put a main event on a UFC pay-per-view that is not a title fight. You know, unless your name is Conor McGregor, your name is not going to be the main event unless it's a title fight. And I think it'll be a fight night, if anything.
Well, like I said, like, he don't have a big following to sell out himself. We know him because we're from Philly and we follow this sport religiously.
Yeah.
If you go to a casual, oh, you like Sean Brady? He's undefeated. You're going to go watch him at Philadelphia? Who the hell is that?
I'm pretty sure in Philadelphia he's really recognized. In South Philly he's recognized.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, though. If you go anywhere else other than in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, should we say?
Oh, yeah.
You say, hey, you're going to go to the Wells Fargo Center in Philly to watch Sean Brady fight? They're like, who the hell is that guy? Right? So you need someone who's going to bring in money. And that's the thing. You still need a headliner. Like Misha Tate fought last night at UFC Vegas. That wasn't going to sell itself, that card. Are you kidding me?
That's why they did it at the Apex.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to sell anyway. So you put Misha Tate on there. Oh, shit. Misha Tate? I'm definitely going. You know? You need a headliner to help build a card.
That's different. You can't say that because
at
the Apex, they don't even really allow too much crowd in to begin with. It keeps it cheap.
Right, but people still watched.
Yeah,
it still generates viewage.
Yeah, I'm saying. So they could do that in Philly. I mean, they're not.
No shot. I will not believe that for a second. They'll put all Philadelphia natives on one card and expect it to sell.
I mean, they do it over in Brazil. When they've had cards in Brazil, they stack the card with Brazilians, and most of them, they're only known in Brazil. We don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, but that's their country. That's what I'm saying, right? We would sell it out because we're Philadelphia. We would because we're all from Philly. Totally agree.
But nobody else from Pennsylvania. I know what you're saying in that aspect.
Like New York. New York might. Like, we'll say people from Oklahoma or Texas or California. They're not going to be like, shit, we got to watch Sean Brady fight.
We got people from Jersey that will come over. People from New York will come down.
Right, I know that. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, part of West or far south of the coast, people are not going to be like, oh, shit, Sean Brady's fighting in Philadelphia. Oh, let's tune in. Like, people might just glance at it, not going to be like, oh, we really got to watch this fight because this is happening. Like, if you had Masvidal versus Leon Edwards, I know it's not happening, but if it was on that card from Philadelphia, people were like, oh, we got to go. We got to go see that. Oh, Sean Brady's on that card too? Oh, what? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you just have Sean Brady and all Philadelphia natives on that, it's not going to sell.
That's the part that sucks because then that tells you that.
Right. I agree. He's a fight night kind of guy. Totally agree.
Well, yeah.
Totally agree.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it could be a fight night. It ain't going to happen over here in Philly until it potentially would be a pay-per-view. I do agree with you. They're not going to bring a fight card here unless it's a pay-per-view.
Correct.
But he needs to have a main event status. He needs to be in the main event of a fight night. He needs a 5-round fight to really potentially show what he's capable of. And I think it was kind of diminished last night against Michael Chiesa. You know, I don't think he, really, he proved himself that he belongs in that top 10 with a win over Michael Chiesa. But, I mean, he needs a 5-round fight, And he said in a post-fight interview, I'll take the winner of Bilal Muhammad versus Stephen Thompson. They fight on December 18th. Right. That fight was announced this week. And I'm pretty sure one of them is number 9. I think it's Stephen Thompson that's number 9, or vice versa. And Bilal Muhammad. They're all in the top 10. It's a potential fight to really skyrocket Sean Brady's stock market.
Right.
I mean, it's what needs to happen. I don't think they should throw him to the wolves of Khamzat Chimaev yet.
Who?
I don't
Sean
think.
Brady?
Yeah, I don't think they should throw him.
He's
to
not
Khamzat.
even a wolf. He didn't like we said. You said like a few minutes ago. He has not fought anyone in the top 10. We don't know who he is yet.
We don't know who he is.
Let's relax, people. Relax. He is a good fighter. Let's not get
did you
twisted,
see?
But he's not.
Did you see that grappling match on Friday?
Yeah, he fought a champion.
and he freaking demolished that dude.
Like let's pump the brakes a little bit. Khamzat Chimaev is a great fighter. Like, let's not get it twisted. He's a great fighter, great wrestler. He's very good at what he does. He has not fought anyone in the top 10. You don't know who he is yet. If he fought someone in the top 5, right, and he got waxed, what now?
Oh, his hype train's over. And
Right, he'll get derailed. So to keep it moving the way it is on a great pace. Make him fight someone in the top 10. Work his way to the top 5. Don't just throw him to the wolves. Yeah, he's a lot of hype train right now, and he's riding it strong. But he fights someone in the top 5 and gets waxed, his hype train's gone.
His hype train's gone.
He's derailed.
And
so just got to give it time.
It really shows eyes in the welterweight division that there's 2 undefeated fighters like there is, you know. It's great for Kamaru Usman to really be able to have prospects coming up.
Yeah, well, he might be fighting Leon Edwards now.
Yeah, that's a rumor. It's potential, but it hasn't been confirmed, and I will not touch base on that unless it happens. Now, I think that was a smart move because he pulled out of the fight with Jorge pulled out of the fight with Leon Edwards, and then Leon Edwards is like, oh, okay. Well, instead of taking somebody else, I'm going to wait. I've already got the earned title shot.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait on the sidelines.
Yep.
So now he's going, in my opinion, yes, that's the next fight to make. It hasn't been confirmed, and I don't know when it's going to be confirmed. You know, there was some rumors that it's going to be in February, I think I heard. I don't believe that is the case.
Don't want to say because I don't know.
Yeah, and Ariel Helwani even came out and he was like, all this talk about Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards, and I never announced that was potentially happening. He just was giving his opinion on maybe that's the next fight, you know, to make. So I don't know. That's a good fight that could potentially happen. All I know is that welterweight division is looking just as hot as the lightweight division, man.
Yeah,
it's looking fire, man. It really is. So, on the other side of the card, we had Joanne Wood, and she didn't look so good last night. So, like I was saying, she was the last person to potentially fight Valentina Shevchenko. She was ranked number 5, and, you know, she didn't look so good against Taila Santos.
Nope.
And Taila Santos looked phenomenal and looked like she could potentially create some waves in the division. Now, she's only number 10, and we'll find out.
She beat number 5, so she's going to drop dramatically.
She's going to move up dramatically. She's 28 years old. She's not that old, but she's not that young either, you know?
She's experienced. We'll just say that.
I feel like she's going to be coming into her prime real soon. She's 19-1. She only has 1 loss, and let's be real, she's 4-1 in the UFC now. So I think potentially she shouldn't be thrown to Valentina Shevchenko.
No.
Quite yet.
She'll fight another. But depends. It depends. If she fight, it depends how far down she goes. Like if she drops dramatically, right? We'll just say she drops dramatically. She goes to number 6, right? We'll just say she's 6. Right? So she goes to 6. She fights 3 or 2, and she wins dominantly. Title shot. If she loses, she'll stay where she's at and have 2 fights, and then title shot if she wins. I think that's how it comes into play. Like if she fights 2, if she fights a 2 or a 3, and she wins dominantly, she goes to title shot.
It's possible. I mean, the only person I think who Valentina Shevchenko could fight next, now that the number 5 ranked fighter has lost, is Andrea Lee. Now, Andrea Lee looks like a possible title contender as well. I think she fought last week actually on the Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez card, and she looks like she could potentially look? None of these girls are beating Valentina Shevchenko.
I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that?
The girl against Calderwood, she looked good. Should I say?
Yeah,
She looked good.
she's
You don't
tall.
know.
She's tall. I don't know, but I'm saying just basically off of how dominant we've seen Valentina Shevchenko. I don't know. She needs maybe a few more fights before we can see if she stands a chance against Valentina Shevchenko. Everybody that Valentina Shevchenko has been fought, faced against
Was pretty dominant.
was pretty. Yeah, she was dominantly winning. So I'm saying like it's difficult. These women fighters, we always get in arguments over Chris, the bantamweight, the Valentina Shevchenko's.
We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's tough to say like what's gonna happen with these women, but Joanne Wood just didn't look good. She got finished with 4 minutes and 49 seconds into the first round. She couldn't survive those last 10 seconds to get to the second round, and she got that choke put on her. And I mean, she looked like she took a freaking nap. She was like, you're about to take a nap. Perfect timing. However, so that was UFC. It was a boring-ish card. There was some entertaining fights, but I mean,
mostly boring.
Mostly decisions, and thank God for what we're going to talk about next. So we've got Sean Porter versus.
Well, before we get into that, right? We have a fan that's on here, Zepp, in our chat. He's gonna be fighting in December.
Is he really?
Yeah, in Canada. He's a boxer, and he's gonna be fighting in. I don't know if he's still listening. If he is, just tell us the date you're going to be doing it, and hopefully you live stream it so we can watch as well.
I am down.
I'm pretty sure he said he's going to live stream it too. Me and him, we text back and forth throughout the day about the fights, and he's been practicing. He's been boxing lately. His son started boxing too, Landon. He's got him in boxing, so that's really cool to see too. I've known Kyle for years, and I'm proud of him to be stepping in the ring and getting into the mix and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that fight too. But December 12th.
Oh, December 12th.
Okay.
December 12th. All right. Well, that's right after the UFC pay-per-view. It's a Sunday?
It will be a Sunday, yeah.
Ah, all right. Okay. Well, please share some videos with us, and we will put it live on here if with your permission.
I'm pretty sure he'll be all right with that.
Yeah, get your name out there, man. We're trying to too. So Sean Porter, he fought Terrence Crawford last night, and it was a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. See, it's tough because Terrence Crawford usually is a slow starter. Comes out, he's trying to read the opponent, and most of the time that opponent is able to capitalize on those early rounds. I believe it was kind of working in Sean Porter's favor. He was able to really, Sean Porter is such an athletic boxer that it was difficult, I think, at first for Terrence Crawford to read. And Sean Porter was able to steal some of those points away and possibly win a few of those rounds. Now, I'm no judge, so I don't really know, but I think he really put up a tough fight. He put up a tough fight against Terrence Crawford, as he usually does. For a lot of people, when he fought Errol Spence, they say Sean Porter took his test, was his biggest test. Mm-hmm. So Sean Porter was Errol Spence's biggest test, a lot of people say. So Terrence Crawford, was pushed to the limit last night, and he passed the test. He knocked Sean Porter out in the 10th round. Knocked him down twice, and then his dad gets up on the ring and throws the freaking towel and waves the fight off.
Right.
Do you think that was a good stoppage?
Yeah, he was going to go night-night after that. If his dad didn't throw the towel in, he was going to be laying on his back or his face.
So there was a few controversial opinions on that based on his dad got up on the ring and was like, my son didn't prepare, and he basically saying it without saying it. That
pretty much throw your own kid underneath the bus and saying you fucking suck.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that was rough. Like for Porter to hear his own father come on the thing to, he didn't prepare, he didn't do that. Man, like you think your kid wants to hear your own pops say you're trash
on live TV
That's
with millions
terrible.
Of people watching?
I bet you they went back and they were arguing, or Sean Porter was like, dude, your kid lost. I get it. He's not going to win every fight. and you're gonna go on stage in the ring and say publicly he didn't prepare, he didn't do that, dude. Sean Porter probably boxed his ass off, trained hard, but maybe not the standards that you may like, but he's still training. He is up there in age. And you're going to tell him that he sucks pretty much? That's rough.
Yeah.
That is rough.
So it goes without saying that, yes, what his dad was saying was very brutal. But I understand the other side of the logic, whereas you want to hear your trainer / dad, whoever it may be, you know, you want to hear that trainer give you the truth. You know, you don't want yes people in your corner. You want to be here.
Right.
You want people to an extent to be like, look, you're not doing so hot. You know, you need to work on this, work on this. And initially when I saw those two knockdowns, I was kind of thinking in my head, like, because when after the second knockdown, you could see Sean Porter like punching the canvas, like pissed off. And then his dad shortly after that stepped in. So I was kind of thinking in the back of the head, like, was there a conversation before this, like, hey, if you get dropped twice, I'm going to step up and end the fight. Now, Porter didn't say that ever happened. He said there was no conversation.
Right.
He was completely shocked that his dad stopped the fight.
I was shocked. I'll be real. I was shocked. Like, if you're a fighter, man, let me go out on my shield.
Yes.
Let me lay on my back. If I get banged out, let me go. I'm okay. I'll get back up and I'll fight another day. Let me go out on my shield. No fighter wants to lose a fight with a tail getting thrown in. Unless I'm like just out on my feet and I won't go down because of whatever the reason might be, and I'm just getting pieced up and I'm going to die, then throw the tail in. Porter wasn't going to die. He was getting worked. Let him go out on his shield. He had jelly legs already. He was going to go out. Let him go out. Don't throw the tail and save him. And I think that's another thing, too. Like, your dad's always going to save you, right?
Yeah.
No father wants to see their son take a whooping like that and let him get knocked out because you want to throw the tail in. You're pretty much protecting your son. But to go onto the mic and talk trash about your son, that is like a conflict of interest. Yeah. Like, it doesn't sound like you're trying to help your kid, but in a way you did help your kid by throwing the tail in. It's kind of like conflicting.
Yeah, and it's strange that, you know, after the fight, we had breaking news. Sean Porter decides to retire. So after a great career, man, it leaves a lot of questions. Like, maybe there was a disagreement after the fact, and maybe him and his dad did have a disagreement. Like, you shouldn't have stopped the fight. Who knows? It's all speculation.
Right.
But it's very weird that after that stoppage,
you retire. Maybe he didn't want to fight anymore. Because it kind of looked at, like, in, like, the later of the round, looked like he was, like, sluggish, didn't really want to fight. Maybe he knew in his head, like, a mentality thing, I'm going to retire after this fight.
He said it, yes. So I agree with that statement, because he even said in the post-fight interview, he said that win or lose or draw, he was already potentially planning on retiring.
You already lost the fight then.
So
if you have that mentality, right? Even Dana White said that way back. In any kind of fighting or any combat thing, if you think you're gonna lose, you already lost. Yeah. Or if you think you're gonna retire, you lost because you're already thinking of, what do I do after retirement? Or do I do this? Do I do that? Do I train? Do I not? Blah blah blah. So if you're already thinking about retiring, you're pretty much gonna lose. I would say probably 85% of the fighters lose.
So maybe that's why he did. Maybe that's why his dad did stop the fight. Like, I don't want to see my son die.
Or maybe banged out. Like
maybe
that.
they had talks of him potentially retiring after the fight, and then he decided, look, those two knockdowns were clean shots.
Very
one was
clean.
an uppercut, clean shot. The second one, I think it was a right hook or left hook or one of them, and it was a very clean shot. And there was no defense in that. So it was a good stoppage. It was, in my opinion, his dad did the right thing by stepping up and waving out the fight. Save your son for another day. Save your son for enjoyment in his retirement. He's a two-time WBO champion.
Right.
He's a two-time welterweight champion, and he's fought with the best. Yep. He has nothing else to prove. So
totally agree.
In his loss, there's still sort of a victory. He took Terrence Crawford, gave Terrence Crawford his biggest test.
You think? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Terrence Crawford never fought anybody remotely like Sean Porter. Like we were saying, there's nobody in top ranked boxing that was on the level of these premier boxing champion fighters like Errol Spence Jr. and Sean Porter and Yordenis Ugas. Like all these fighters that
I don't think you could put him as his biggest test if he knocked him out. He
knocked him out.
Shit out of him.
He didn't beat the shit out of him. I wouldn't
Of course
say that.
He did. Porter might have had like the first 2 rounds, and then after that was Crawford all day long.
I don't think so. I think even like a few of those middle of those rounds, like Sean Porter was still very visibly in that fight. Now, Terrence Crawford was trying to read him the whole fight, and like I said before, Terrence Crawford's always been known to potentially,
He starts off slow.
Yeah, starts off slow. He tries to read the opponent.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to go out swinging. You're supposed to test your fighter, see where he's at, see what works. And when Crawford found out what worked, Porter had his dad throw in the towel for him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say that. Like, it's a little far.
See,
but he
Yeah.
he got beaten bad, and his dad had to throw in the towel. So to say he was his toughest test is a long shot. I just can't see that.
Yeah.
So it's like if they went to decision, right, and you don't know who won, that is your best, your biggest challenge, your biggest test, because you don't know. Because like he's like, wow, he could have won. No, wait, he could have won. This is both of the undefeated records on the line, right? Oh wow, that was his biggest test. But because you knocked a man out and you beat him, that's not your greatest test. He didn't test you.
Well, he tested him in the aspect that this was his first big name fighter. So coming
I'll
from,
say that like that's your first test to see a big fighter, a good
because he's a
competition.
2-time welterweight champion.
Right.
Terrence Crawford has never been here yet. This is his first kind of fight like this.
And look what he did on his first test.
So I want to ask you this because we only got a few more minutes. All right. So it's obvious that now Terrence Crawford is 38-0, completely undefeated,
Yep.
Unmatched in, whatever ranking he is now. But let's say he potentially fights Errol Spence Jr. He's not going to be able to let those early rounds be taken by Errol Spence Jr. Now, I don't know if you saw, but after the fight, after the knockout, Errol Spence Jr. was in that arena. He got up and walked out. Walked out immediately after the knockout.
Right.
So it goes to show you that maybe Errol Spence is, I may be crazy for saying this because Errol Spence is also 28-0. He's undefeated. So is Errol Spence a little scared right now about Terrence Crawford? I don't know.
I don't know where people get all this stuff from, saying, "Oh, this person's scared of this person, that person."
He walked out. He was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit!
I
I'm
don't think
out."
any of these fighters are scared of each other. They're fighters, man. Like, I don't think any fighter is scared to fight another fighter. Like, I think that is just
There's got to be fear.
Spec.
There
might be some concern. To say fear or scared is so far-fetched. It blows my mind how far-fetched
It's normal for a fighter to have fear. It's a normal. You're going in there. You could possibly fucking die.
No,
boxers die all the time.
I think they might be afraid to die in there, maybe, but
or potentially even that. Like so when you have when you have Terrence Crawford who's 38-0, and then you have Errol Spence Jr. who's 28-0, you've built that record your whole freaking life, right?
Right.
Your whole life you've reached that pinnacle, and then to go against another undefeated, somebody's L's got to go. That's got to be very fearful. You've reached that top tier of where you want to be in life.
No, I just can't wrap my head around someone being scared of someone. Like, so if you're about to fight some guy at the bar, right? We'll just say, right?
They're never gonna admit fear.
No, but if you're about to end a fight in a bar with someone, you're like, wow, man, I'm kind of scared of this guy. I don't know if I should do this. What do? You walk away or you do some other stuff. But if you want to like throw hands with somebody, you're be like, yo, I'm not scared of you, bro. Right? You're not gonna say that.
Like, you can't compare a street fight to one of these.
Why not? It's the same thing. It's the same principle.
You've
It's
got
the same thing.
millions of people watching.
Right.
So a lot of people like, okay, so you have a big audience and you have somebody watching you get knocked out.
Right.
Or potentially getting knocked out.
Right.
You're going to be fearful, possibly because of that. That's one example.
I'll say that. Yeah, you don't get highlight reeled. Yeah, I think they're scared to get highlight reeled or be on the back of a YouTube thing where it's like, oh, he got knocked the fuck out or whatever. No, I totally agree with that. There might be further. To say you're scared of another man during a fight competition is crazy to me. I just can't see that. Oh, Canelo's scared of Benavidez. He's ducking him. He's not scared of him. He wants to do something else. It's not me. He's scared of him. Same thing with Crawford fighting Spencer. Oh, he's scared, or Spencer's scared of Crawford. Dude, they're fighters. Relax. They're not scared of each other.
I don't know.
Stop, man.
He walked out for a reason, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he probably walked out and was like, oh, this bum.
So now wait.
Probably.
So he either walked out because one, he could have been scared, or two, he's just not down with that WWE like theatrical thing where like somebody steps.
Oh,
in the
he
ring.
called him out. You come onto the ring.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's like, dude, I'm not doing that.
That's a possibility as well. I mean, who knows what he was potentially thinking. That may be the next fight. I don't know if they should stack those two together quite yet. Maybe build Terrence Crawford up a little bit more.
We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. We're getting to the end of the show. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. We were live on YouTube. Please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will greatly appreciate all comments in the YouTube video as well. Go follow my fellows at Devereaux Sports. We had the Gobbler Inc. We have the Sullivan Squad. We've got Breakfast and Body Slams. We are stacked with all different sports content. We got the Breakfast and Body Slams who cover WWE, AEW, and we got the Sullivan Squad who cover reactions from the sports on Monday after football occurs. And then we have Gobbler Inc. who touches base on these sports before they happen. So we've got before and after coverage pretty much. So no matter where you're at on your day, we are always live for a lot of sports content. And you have any ending remarks?
No, yeah, I just do. Thank you guys, all you guys who show us support and give us feedback on our shows, and always follow us, and you send private messages because I guess you guys don't want to be seen live. I get it. But yeah, we appreciate all you guys chiming in and commenting back and showing all the love and support that you guys give us, man. You have no idea how much that feels for us. Appreciate it.
So I will not be live in studio this Wednesday. Chris will be doing this solo. Show him some love.
Dolo.
Show him some love. He will come here stacked with a lot of content. Don't be afraid to show up and give your full attention to Chris. He is a great guy.
I'm a villain.
And he has got a hell of a dedication for this show. I will be traveling on my endeavors for Thanksgiving, the upcoming American holiday.
Yep.
And I'll be live back in studio the following week. Yeah. So he'll be here for both shows, next Wednesday and Sunday.
Boom.
Follow him. He will give you a great show. Yep. For all you guys watching, Zep, thanks for the content. Thanks for the comments. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone who's commenting.
Yeah, thanks for all the love. Have a great day, and we'll see you next